Hi guys, Coach Julian here. In this video, I'm going to go through whether you should rent and invest or buy a house. It's a question that many Canadians have in their mind, and you'll be surprised. I'm not taking a mathematical approach to this. The answer is not in spreadsheets or a calculation. The answer is within you. So I'm going to help you figure out which would be best for you by answering two key questions. Now, on this topic, there's a lot of research. You could look on YouTube. Ben Felix has some pretty good videos, did some pretty good work on it, and he quantifies it well. And the answer is often you should rent and invest, especially with the price adjustments in real estate that we've experienced recently. So he builds a strong case for renting and investing. But the analysis assumes that you actually do it. And it's hard to do it because you need a lot of discipline. First of all, you need to find rent that's affordable enough to leave enough money left over at the end of the month to put aside and invest. And then you need to follow an investment strategy very carefully in a very disciplined way. And these are easy to say, easy to spit out, but to actually implement that is quite difficult. So to help you understand where you're at, and again, this is not you permanently, this is where you are today. In 15 years, you may be at a different level and maybe in a situation of renting and investing. So it's important not to put yourself in a box. Let me ask you two questions, and these are questions to help you figure out where you are and answer them very honestly. Are you disciplined with money? That's question one. Do you put aside money every paycheck? Is it automatic? Is it a system? No questions asked. You pay yourself first, in other words. Answer. And it's not, I'm pretty good, or whenever I have money left at the end of the month. It's, do you do it or do you do not? So that's question one. Are you disciplined? And in that same categories, do you have an investment strategy? Do you follow that investment strategy? You have the discipline to stick with that investment strategy no matter what. If the market goes down, if the market goes up, does that make you change your investment strategy or do you stick with it? So discipline is question one. Do you have that discipline? Question two, what's your risk tolerance? Do you have a high tolerance for risk or do you have a very low tolerance for risk? An example is, say the market goes down by 25%. What do you do? Do you hide in a corner, avoid looking at your portfolio? Do you sell? Do you sell into panic? If that's what you do, you have a low tolerance for risk. Or do you buy? Do you buy some more when the market goes down? If that's what you do, then you have a higher tolerance for risk. So where are you situated in those categories? If you hesitated when it comes to discipline, if you don't really have discipline and or you have a low tolerance for risk, you're probably better off with a house. And this is pretty important, okay? It's not to take lightly because if you look at your surroundings, if I look at my friends, my family, my contacts, how did they build wealth? How did they start off? They started off building equity with real estate by buying a house. It's really important. You don't want to miss out on that. You want to look back after a few years and say, okay, I have that equity built up. I built up equity in my house. At least you have that. And if you don't have the discipline, we have your low tolerance for risk, you're going to have a lot of trouble with renting and investing in the stock market. It's going to be a real struggle for you. And I wouldn't want you to miss out on the opportunity to build equity by buying a house. But there are certain things you got to watch out for is living beyond your means. Because if you buy a huge house, that puts you at risk. You have to get a bigger mortgage, more debt, more interest payments. A bigger house means more maintenance. It means more municipal taxes. It means more expenses and insurance, more repairs. So be careful. And so make sure you buy the right house for you in a good location so that it gains value, at least follows inflation. And there's all kinds of research and information on real estate, how to buy real estate, and how much debt to get into to buy real estate. That's not the topic today. You can do your own research, look at YouTube. use AI to help you. That's not the topic of today's video. But don't overextend yourself. And the bank, the people who are going to loan you money are not the right people to tell you how much you can afford. They will establish limits, but it doesn't mean that you have to be at those maximum limits. Okay? Those institutions are really motivated to loan you the maximum amount of money. And that doesn't mean that's the right solution for you. So be careful. If you want to bounce with your financial advisor, if you want to bounce with me, go through some scenarios, discuss it, I'm available. Just drop me a note. But make sure you don't overextend yourself when you buy your house. And the same goes when you rent. Don't go rent a huge apartment and live beyond your means. Live within your means so you have more at the end of the month to invest and have that money work for you. Now, when I bought my first house with my wife at the time, we had a budget of $175,000. Okay, that's what we established. And we saw this beautiful house. We loved it. It was on a huge lot, flowers. It was absolutely gorgeous. That was it. But it cost us $225,000. So $50,000 more than what we had budgeted. And obviously, we had to get more debt to cover that difference. But for the next 5 to 6 years after we bought the house, our mission was just to pay down the debt. And we would do everything to pay the debt. Double payments, paying instead of monthly, we would pay twice a month. We would actually pay 15% on the original balance every calendar year. A lot of mortgages allow annual capital repayments without penalties. And we used every penny of those freebies, if you wish, that Canadian mortgages typically have. And it wasn't glamorous. We didn't go on fancy vacations. We didn't go to the restaurants a lot. It was a lot of sacrifices. But our mission was just pay down the mortgage. And it took less than 6 years. It was paid off. So at 35 years old, I was debt-free. You can't imagine the feeling of lightness. In Italian, we call it leggerezza, lightness. All of a sudden, all these things are possible. You have all these possibilities. Hey, I can take some of the equity from my house. I can buy an investment property. I can buy another house and rent it. I have all this extra money. I can invest it in the stock market. Hey, I can even quit my job that I hate and take the time to find something more interesting. Whatever it is, you have this incredible feeling of freedom and access to all these different possibilities all of a sudden because you don't have that heavy debt burden every month. Great feeling. I really recommend it. And here's something a lot of people forget. When you buy a house and you sell it later on in life, the gain is not taxed if it's your principal residence. That's one of the incredible things that as Canadians we benefit from. It's a freebie. It's a tax freebie that all Canadians have access to. That's a great tax advantage that you should never overlook. Now, on the flip side, if you are disciplined and have a high tolerance for risk, by all means, find an affordable rent that allows you to put aside good money, invest that money, and stick to an investment strategy, no matter what, ups and downs, and booms and busts. You stick to your investment strategy, then go for it. And mathematically, yeah, you'll probably be ahead and be able to put a lot of savings aside. And maybe you want to start off your life like that. And then when you have enough money and build up equity, then you buy a house and do it the other way. But I think most people fall in the category of undisciplined and low risk tolerance. And it doesn't mean that's bad. It just means identify what your profile is and act accordingly. And again, don't put yourself in the box. Just because you're a certain way today, it doesn't mean that's going to be you in 10, 15 years. So educate yourself, do research, talk to your financial advisor, talk to people who are financially literate. Reach out to me. I'd be happy to discuss your situation, your opportunities, but educate yourself. And that allows you to gain experience, to take better decisions. The more educated you are, the more you will be disciplined and the more you will understand how money flows and how investments work. And the more calculated risks you'll probably be willing to take. Okay. So basically, if you have low tolerance for risk and or don't have discipline, look at getting a house that you can afford and pay it down aggressively. And if you have real discipline and a high tolerance for risk, renting and investing may be a win for you. But do the work, have a strategy, and be careful not to speculate. A lot of young people, apparently, especially men, tend to speculate. So I'll rent and invest, and they go off and they speculate. Understand the difference between investing and speculating. Okay. Again, there you can take an opportunity, throw that in an AI, and the AI will spit it out cold and clear, will tell you if it's an investment or a speculation. Run it by a financially literate person, run it by me, reach out to me, but make sure you understand the difference between speculation and investing. Guys, I hope you found this useful. If you did, sign up because I have more content coming your way. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you real soon.